as Buck was saying, it's easily accessible. Of course, a truck. There's virtually no way to stop it. You can't put stanchions on every public event. The Islamic State has evolved. It doesn't need bombs. It doesn't need explosives. It doesn't need guns. It can create mass casualties with vehicles.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Breaking news out of Berlin, Germany. It is nighttime there, Monday evening. A thriving, hustling, bustling Christmas market. And you now have reports of an individual, we don't know who he is, who plowed his truck into this Christmas market full of people on this Monday evening. According to Berlin police now, they are saying at least 9 people have been killed. At least 50 people have been injured. We have Fred Pleitgen. We also have Bob Baer. Guys, do we have Fred? Okay, that was a yes. So actually, and we also have Buck Sexton, who's former CIA counterterrorism. But Fred Pleitgen, to you, since you live a couple of miles away, have you arrived on the scene yet? Tell me what's happened.
Yeah, hey, Brooke. I just arrived on the scene a couple of minutes ago, and I mean the whole place is jam packed with ambulances, fire trucks, and police vehicles. I mean, I've counted at least 20 ambulances on the scene here. And, I've dealt with the German fire department, the German police in the past, and by the signals they're giving, they've determined that this is a mass casualty event. And you can see that by the different agencies that are coming in here as well. There's also a lot of bystanders, obviously very worried bystanders, who are now being pushed behind the police line. There's an ambulance passing right now. There's a whole lot of bystanders that have been pushed back behind the police line. And yeah, I mean, it's just a gigantic operation that the police have put in place here. And, from what eyewitnesses have been telling us, they say that this happened around 8 p.m. local time, so about an hour and a half ago, and that this truck just simply plowed into this Christmas market. In fact, I'm right now standing on the street that they believe that the truck was coming from as it plowed into that market at around 40 miles an hour. Eyewitnesses saying it did not make any sort of effort to slow down or to brake, and then just went through several of those market stalls and obviously hit a bunch of people as it went in. That now, the police saying 9 killed, 50 wounded, and judging by this response, I can believe that would certainly be the case.
Well, here's my question, Fred. Is the truck still sitting there, or did he just plow through these people and leave? And do we know anything about the driver?
I'm not seeing the truck from my vantage point. I believe that it stopped. I'm not sure whether the driver is in custody or not. I'm going to try and get an update from the police in a couple of minutes. They set up sort of a press point here because obviously a lot of the officers that are here are very busy at this point in time. There's another 4 or 5 police vehicles now moving into the zone. So that's really unclear whether the drivers have been apprehended. However, judging by the fact that the German authorities now believe that this is a terror-related incident, I would assume that they have a man in custody and that he is being questioned, but I can't confirm that yet. I'll try and do that as soon as possible. But certainly,
hang on. Did you just say Berlin authorities do believe this is a terror-related incident, or
from what I'm hearing, they believe that it is.
Okay.
And that would lead me to believe that they would have someone in custody, but it's unclear whether that's the case. I'd have to confirm that. But judging from what I've been hearing, they do believe that this is most likely terror-related.
Okay, Fred, thank you. Fred Pleitgen there on the scene in Berlin. Again, Bob Baer, CNN intelligence security analyst, former CIA operative. Buck Sexton here, former CIA counterterrorism analyst. I just want to be crystal clear because I'm not seeing anything in my email saying CNN has confirmed. Guys, let me know whether or not this is indeed being called a terror attack. But Bob Baer, what are the questions you'd be asking about what's happening, what we're watching?
Well, I would think this would be a copy of the Nice attack. There's been an emotional jolt through the Sunni Muslim community throughout Europe because of the fall of Aleppo. A lot of people sympathize, a lot of Muslims sympathize with the carnage that has gone on there. And I think you can connect, at least I can, the murder of the Russian ambassador in Ankara. And I'd also like to say this has been long anticipated, another attack like this, a Nice-like attack. First time in Germany, mass casualties. But if indeed this is terrorism, I think Europe's in for more of it.
Buck, what do you think?
Yeah, at this point, when you look at the indicators and the probability, it certainly points towards a terrorist attack. We can't be certain, but
No.
Bob pointed out the similarities with Nice. Here we have, there have already been photos of it posted online. You have a truck that seems to have been used in this, again, attack. There's the remote possibility that it was something other than that. You also look at the target set. It's just before Christmas, a Christmas market. The number of people that were injured and at least 9 killed, that number looks like it'll probably go higher. The probability that this was some kind of horrific accident is infinitesimally small. It looks like it fits in with all the criteria you would expect for a jihadist attack, similar to what we saw in Nice, which was, from the jihadist perspective, a very successful mass casualty attack on a French national holiday, mostly using a truck. I know there are also weapons involved there.
There were weapons involved there, and
right.
now it appears. I mean, it is different in the sense that there, apparently I'm not hearing any reports of shots. It sounds like this individual, and we know nothing about this individual, or if this person has even been caught, drove up, going who knows how fast into this crowd of revelers. One
of the lessons of the Nice attack, from the terrorist perspective, from the jihadists, those who might want to be acting out now, specifically, as Bob mentioned, because of what's happening in Aleppo or for any number of other grievances, real and imagined, is they may have recognized that the vehicle is the most important component in this process. All you need is a big vehicle that gets enough speed, enough momentum behind it, and a target set full of people that are innocent civilians. So that would all line up. The absence of weapons or gunfire, I wouldn't view it as something that makes it less likely to be terror. It may just be they realize that all you in fact need is the vehicle, looking very likely that this was a jihadist attack given all the indicators we have.
Bob, I mean, I remember being in Nice and talking to some of our terror analysts who were saying this is what ISIS was essentially saying to followers, that this MO of using a car as a weapon. Am I correct?
Oh, absolutely. It's as Buck was saying, it's easily accessible. Of course, a truck. There's virtually no way to stop it. You can't put stanchions on every public event. The Islamic State has evolved. It doesn't need bombs. It doesn't need explosives. It doesn't need guns. It can create mass casualties with vehicles. And, Europe right now is at a loss what to do about this, because they can't control what's happening in Aleppo. And even though Germany has nothing to do with Aleppo, the Islamic State paints the West as a single front, and that it's permissible to kill civilians, and especially on a symbolic holiday and a Christmas market like this.
Have there been any attacks, not necessarily with a car used as a weapon, Bob, but within Germany? I mean, I remember there was a mass casualty event. I'm not quite sure if it was terror related or not some months ago that we covered live, but is this would be the first?
This would be the first. I mean, there has been attacks in Germany on the train with an Afghan, on a coffee house, and the rest of it. But this is the first time the Germans have, This is a copy in a way of Brussels and the Nice attack, or even the Paris attacks. And I think as the police get better and they start rolling these networks up, what you see in more and more are probably people inspired by the violence in the Middle East, inspired by the Islamic State, without actually making contact. We're going to find out. Of course, if this was a terrorism attack, the German police are saying it, but let's wait to see. We could revise this next hour or so.
Yeah, 9 dead, at least 50 injured there at a busy Christmas market there on a Monday evening in Berlin. Buck and Bob, thank you. We'll keep a close eye on what's happening there. Also ahead, we're watching